I came to Krishna consciousness in 1978 in Adelaide, South Australia. Since I was 15 or 16, I wanted to become a yogi. I read the book Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse, and it's a story which talks about the enlightenment of the Buddha. And after I read that book, I was very attracted to the idea of being a yogi, and I decided at that point in time I wanted to be a vegetarian. So later on, 3-4 years later, I went to the Hare Krishna temple to purchase a cookbook because I discovered from my friends that the Hare Krishna devotees had a cookbook, and in those days there weren't many vegetarian cookbooks. I think there might have been 2 or 3 that I knew of in the whole of the city. So I went to the temple, got a cookbook, and in that cookbook I learned about the chanting of Hare Krishna and the following of the 4 regulated principles. So when I used to cook for my friends, I used to chant Hare Krishna and in my mind offer the food to Krishna, and at that time started to develop an attraction for knowing about Krishna. Later, in 1978, one of my friends took me to the temple on Bhaktivinoda Thakur's, I think it's disappearance day in June, and I can still to this day remember the feast that we had. I also remember the story of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and at that point in time I discovered that the Hare Krishna movement was a very old tradition, and I started to take the philosophy and the practices of Krishna consciousness very seriously. Later, a couple of weeks before Julan Yatra that year, one of my friends invited us to the Sunday feast. We went to the Sunday feast. The devotees that were preaching to us, one of them said, you should chant, well, no, he asked me, do you know how to chant Hare Krishna? And I said, yes, I do know how to chant Hare Krishna. Prior to me getting the cookbook, another devotee had given me an invitation to the Sunday feast, which had the Maha Mantra on it, and I'd learnt to chant the Maha Mantra from that card. So, because I was interested in meditation and I wanted to be a yogi, then learning the Maha Mantra was a very attractive concept for me, a very attractive idea. So at the first Sunday feast, one of the devotees asked me, do you know how to chant Hare Krishna? I said, yes. He said, okay, that's good. If you know how to chant Hare Krishna, then you should chant 16 rounds. So he gave me some beads, both my wife and I, and we told him, yep, okay, we'll chant 16 rounds. So the next Sunday feast we came back to the temple, and that devotee asked us, well, are you chanting 16 rounds? We said yes. He said, all right, now that you're chanting 16 rounds, you should come to the full morning program. And so they invited us to come to the morning program. The next week, Julan Yatra started on the Tuesday. So he encouraged us, come for Mangalarti on Tuesday, we'll swing Radha and Krishna, and you should start then coming to the morning program every day. So that next Tuesday we came for Mangalarti. Of course, swinging Radha and Krishna was just a picture hanging from the ceiling at Mangalarti, which was quite quaint, and that's when we started attending the morning program, and basically within a few months we were packing our bags in Adelaide and moving to the Melbourne temple, where we've been ever since. Hare Krishna.